going on out here in the Kentucky experimental garden. Just trying to do simplified planting methods to see if seeds just can be put in the ground and grow. Different rototilling experiments, just putting seeds in the grass and just putting seeds out in the field just to see if put the seeds in the ground and what grows out in this hard red clay that I live on here. So I'll go through and do a quick update of the tomatoes and peppers now. So I've done a video of these in order and what each variety is. But this is the row of Rototill and Don't Clean. And I think the weeds are kind of taking over. Some tomatoes are doing okay and some are not. This is the row of tomatoes that I started in that row, but then transplanted into a row where we have rototilled, and I used a garden rake. Look at that. We got some flowers. That's the first one. There it is, Purple Beauty. The hardest one to grow is already flowering in this hard red clay. That's an interesting note. But all these, this one has a flower too. I don't know what that tag is, Tiny Tims. Tiny Tims have flowers. But we're going through here and transplanted them into the row that I rototilled and just use a garden rake to clear out all the thick clumps of grass and root balls. So that row is doing really good. So of all the different varieties, for some reason this row is a happy row. These are the peppers. They're just, I have a feeling that we've got issues with peppers here. This might be the weeds, but the grass is all starting to take over. You can barely see some peppers sticking up through these weeds. And I went through my other video. If you're curious on what varieties these are, go to my 9th week video and you'll see what all I've got growing here. So here's where we got the problem. My yellow Tonys and my red Tonys, they're gone. There's a stem right there. That's where I had them. So we got somebody who likes to come over here and eat them. Seen on my 9th week video, somebody completely uprooted one of my plants. But another note, these are pepper plants that I transplanted from the row that I rototilled and just took out the big clumps of grass and root balls out of it. I didn't do no raking, no sifting, no cleaning. So the tomatoes that I transplanted into the sifted row are doing good. So this is something I've never experienced or seen before. But the plants that I've transplanted are doing well. But they're rows that I did a lot of work cleaning. And then the 2 rows that I rototilled and just picked out big clumps, those original plants are not doing so well. So do plants like to be relocated? I know people that lived in Chicago like to be relocated. So that's the quick, or not so quick, but quick tomato pepper. If you're curious about how I did the rows, I got another video on that. And if you're curious on the plant varieties, week 9, I go through in detail which ones are growing. So here's my corn. The grass is all kind of taken over, but I've got corn in there. It's growing, but it's not growing like it should. So I think my issues could be, look at this. That's a rabbit was digging up in the corn. So there we go. Maybe the rabbits are just eating up the corn. See that? Rabbit nest. Doesn't look like anything is in there though. But there you go. Tall grass brings rodents. So do I recommend just throwing corn in the tall grass? Nope. Here's some of the sweet corn. It's just not doing well. Do I recommend this? Not at all. Do not just put corn in the grass and hope it grows. There's my little batch of sweet corn. I mean, it's definitely suffering. It's not doing so well. So I'm not sure if I'm going to continue with this experiment. Might be done with this one. So do I recommend just putting corn in the grass? No, it needs a lot more. And I tried to give it a little bit of water. Maybe it's just lack of watering, but the weeds are doing fine without water. But I really wanted to make it, put a seed in the ground and see if it just grows. And with the tomatoes and peppers, I do very little watering on that. Here's our sunflowers. They're pretty cool. They follow the sun. They all turn throughout the day. And wherever the sun is at, they're pointing at the sun. Just a neat thing to watch them do it. I mean, bean plants do it. All plants do that. But some sunflowers are popping up really good. Where I had missing sunflowers, I replanted seeds. And they're slowly got some spots where I keep putting seeds in the ground and nothing wants to grow there. Same thing with this corner. I keep putting seeds here and they just don't want to go. So I think I'm going to end putting seeds here, and I am just going to let this take off and see what sunflowers do naturally. There's the compost bin. I know, I keep talking about I need to get out in them woods and get some leaves to start putting in there. And I just haven't done that. I'll have to get back onto this compost bin. I need some dirt. Way out there, there's my pumpkins, my squash variety, and my zucchinis. And way off in the back, my experimental birdseed experiment. I could see, I can't see it on the camera, but out of the whole row of birdseed that I planted for pumpkins, one plant survived and it's already got a flower on it. We'll see how long it takes for the deer to eat that, or I might put some kind of cage on it to protect that one. So I have explained this in many of my other videos, my watering technique and why I built these in mounds. But basically I've got the plants growing on a hump, and I just put the water and it runs through these lower trenches here. And when the trench fills up with water, then I move it to the next row and the next and the next. And I've got plenty enough water for my rain barrel set up here. Look at that. Yeah, looks like he didn't make it for some reason. But I just got a valve. It's filled with water. Yeah, and it fills up super fast, really fast. And that's all I do, just open up the valve and drain it into these rows. But I just don't understand. I kind of do understand why this row is not doing so well, but it looks like it's starting to pick up. Peppers just aren't doing well. And then them tomatoes are going pretty good, and those peppers that got transplanted are picking up. But it's probably that rabbit. Tomatoes and peppers are watered, and I've used all 55 gallons out of that rain barrel just to do this row. You see how I'm watering here. I just put the rain barrel water right into these rows, and the water just runs on downhill, and when it fills up, then I am done. You can see in this row I still got a little bit of water seeping in, but as soon as this whole thing holds water, then I shut it off. This over here is holding water, and the water goes through underneath, because you can see the other side is wet. So as this side starts getting watered, the other side, that water goes through where the roots are at, and that's what I want to get. You can see here how the dirt's starting to get wet on the backside. And this is probably the easiest way I could think of to water these things. You just keep on filling the trench. When it holds water, move on to the next one. And both sides get watered. The water goes through the root part where it's needed. That's how I know my roots are getting water, when the other side starts getting wet. So we got zucchinis, a couple of them. Not much in the zucchini field, but randomly and sporadically I've got squashes growing out here. But I don't have a way of taking care of this tall grass. And they're kind of yellowed. You can see them, they're the yellow ones. So I don't know, lack of water. Lack of nutrients, lack of care. But we'll see which ones survive. I really want to bring some water back here, and I really want to keep to the experiment. There's a couple, there's a zucchini right there growing in them tall weeds. So this is a competition, but you can always spot them out. It's the yellow leaves compared to all the other ones. So this is a row from those sticks all the way up to those sticks. I planted pumpkin seeds, and you can see somebody's still trying to dig up something. Looking right next to that. That might be another pumpkin coming up next to it right there. Could be, I'm not sure. But this is the exciting part. We have bird food pumpkin seeds. It's a pet bird. No wild bird seed, but a pet bird. And we have a flower. I trimmed the grass all around it. See, I got all the grass trimmed here. Mowed around that, and we'll see if somebody eats the flower or if it stays. I'm thinking I should probably get some kind of cage to put over it, maybe. I don't know what I should do. Do I let it grow wild like I said I was, or do I see what a pet bird food pumpkin seed does? What would you do?